So in our previous videos, we've talked about what could happen in the top five race on final day. We've spoken about how Newcastle need a win, Aston Villa need a win, Manchester City need to avoid defeat. But if there is one fixture that could affect the whole thing, that would play a big part in however the top five race is going to end, it is this fixture: Nottingham Forest taking on Chelsea. It is more like the final on final day, because whoever wins this game, it's definitely going into the top five. And before we start talking about what could be or what could not be, Victor, in your opinion, this is just a personal opinion question. There's no right or wrong. Who is more deserving of a top five finish between both sides?
Uh, okay, underdog bias, I know, but I'm saying Forest. I think both teams have had great spells and bad spells this season, but Forest at least have been more fun to watch, which is such a damning indictment on Chelsea because Forest are actually one of the most pragmatic teams in the league. I think I would personally rather like to see Forest in there.
Honestly, me too. I would prefer Forest winning, and I'm not saying it from a banter point, but I just feel nobody expected them to go this far, and they deserve it based on that.
Yeah,
And
yeah, exactly.
yeah, yeah. So, like, moving on, Max, both sides actually need to win, to be confident of a top five finish. And in your opinion, who is going in as the favorites to win this game?
A month ago, I'd definitely say Nottingham Forest when they had like 11 game unbeaten at home, but last 4 games they have only 1 point at home. That's kind of sad, actually. Okay, I mean last three rounds in Premier League, and also they lost the cup game against Man City at home. But I feel like that Nottingham Forest are still a bit better in terms of playing at home against big teams, at least. So if I have to pick a favorite here, it's probably Nottingham Forest, but quite slight.
Fair enough. And Victor, let's talk about implications. What do you think are the implications for either side, if they fail to win this game and finish in the top five?
Yeah, I mean, not making UCL would obviously be a bigger deal for Chelsea than for Forest. Let's not forget, Forest was a team that was supposed to be battling relegation this season. European football was just not in the script for them, so really any UEFA competition they end up in, whether it's even the Conference League, is just a miracle. At the same time, I feel like we need to hope that the Forest owner doesn't go full blown idiotic again and ends up sacking Nuno for finishing sixth. When yeah, as I said, he should have been battling relegation. Um, but yeah, it would be a bigger deal for Chelsea. But I think Forest would deserve it more anyway.
Yeah, fair enough. Me too. I also think it would be a bigger deal for Chelsea, given, their standards, given how much they've invested over the last 2 years and whatnot. But it'll be interesting to see how they react if they do not make top five. That would be an interesting story for the Premier League. Anyways, and moving on, Max. Now we know that this fixture plays a very big role in how the top five race will end. But do you think it will be the main decider, or do you think other fixtures might just go on as we expect, that this fixture might not really play an ultimate role in how the top five ends?
The biggest problem for Nottingham Forest here that even if they win, they can still not make top five. Well, Chelsea definitely making top five with the win. So for Nottingham Forest, this is obviously a crucial game, but they still need someone from Will and Newcastle to fail, which is not likely to happen. So probably if Nottingham Forest winning, they're just not letting Chelsea top five.
Mm. Yeah, that would be like a very successful eight to watch. If we can have it, you can have it as well. So let's go ahead and ruin your party. Anyways, we'll see how that plays out. And on a final note, Victor, what are your predictions for this game, and which key areas could play a big part in whoever wins, this match?
Uh, okay, score prediction. I'm saying 2-1, but I genuinely cannot make up my mind which way. My heart says Forest, my head says Chelsea. I I genuinely have no idea how this one ends. Um, as for key battles, I think Ryan Yates, he will need to be at his absolute best to handle the Chelsea midfield. He'll have Enzo Fernandez there, who is more and more at home with what he's doing for Chelsea, and can be one of the top midfielders in the league on his day. And I think on the wing, we need to not sleep on this, because I think if Reece James plays from the start for Chelsea, Elanga will probably eat him alive.
Mm, fair enough. Max, what are your predictions and key areas to look out for?
I've been thinking now a lot about score, and I'll probably go with 1-0 for Nottingham Forest. I feel like this game will be pretty under. They will not score any in first half, but at the end, both teams will need a goal. And I feel like Nottingham Forest have a better chance of scoring. About the players, I'll probably go with maybe it's gonna be Cucurella against whoever goes on the wing. Maybe it's gonna be Elanga, but he's not really playing at that wing.
No, Gibbs White often drifts there.
Yeah, so I'll
Yeah.
probably go with this two.
Yeah, me for my score predictions, I'm going with a 1-1 scoreline. I think it will be a draw. But if I'm to nick on someone to win, I think Forest win. If I'm to go with someone to win, I think Forest will win. But my gut says it will end in a draw. But we'll see how that one plays out. So this is more or less the final of the finals on final day. And just on a final note, Victor, taking everything all the predictions and analysis we've done, how do you see the top five ending? Of course, we already know the first two, but can you give us your own top five?
I'm going with Liverpool, Arsenal, City. Um, yeah, and then it gets hard. Villa and Forest.
Wow. Wow. No Newcastle.
You
That
stole
is a
you stole
bold
my one.
statement.
I wanted to say same.
That's a bold statement. Max, what about you?
Yeah, just wondering the same one. But okay, if you took that, I'll go with Villa and Newcastle.
Villa and Newcastle. I'm going with Liverpool, Arsenal, Villa, Forest. No, sorry, Liverpool, Arsenal, City, Villa, and Forest. That's what I hope it goes
Yeah,
on
but
that
you
way. There's a
expect
bit
a
of
draw
bias
from
in my
Nottingham Forest and Chelsea, so Forest are not making top
yeah,
5 then.
yeah, I'm hoping I maybe my prediction goes wrong, but that's what I'm hoping for. That's what I'm hoping
Okay.
for. Fingers crossed, anyways. But yeah, anyways, we only have to wait about a couple days until the final round of action. Everything will be played at the very same time, and of course, after the games, there will be lots to talk about. There will be key takeaways. There will be implications for several sides, and we'll make sure to do that in our end of the season recap next week.